let's talk about validation for a sec, because this was a new insight for me, and I know it was an insight for you. I didn't realize that there was a lot that you can do to validate a business before you start it.
Yeah. Holy, for real, dude.
I didn't even realize that was an option. I was like, what the heck? And so I didn't even know what that meant until my business partner, Tyler, came along and said, yeah, that's, he's created a 7-figure startup before. He said, yeah, of course that's what you do. I was like, show me how to do it. And so every business is different, but it seems to just be true whenever I talk with founders that when they validate, they go to paid channels. And that's what I've done a lot. And so what you do is you build some creative so you can get it done on the cheap. If you have a designer friend that you can typically get it done as a favor.
Or the new ChatGPT update.
I was even going to say that. Yeah. So I was going to say you can, get it done on Upwork if you need a human to do it, or the ChatGPT update. And what you do is, let's say you're launching a product company. So I'll use this as an example. This is one of the examples of the ways I've tried to make $1 million over the past year. I wanted to launch a water business. And so I really care about bringing clean water to the world. And I said, okay, what's a way to do that? And I had the idea of, no one's really building a water filter company that could be like the Caraway of waters. Like Caraway is like a pan company. It's like a pots and pan company that
Caraway
really beautified.
Is a Canadian?
No. Caraway is American, but it's a huge pot and pan company that really beautified pans and pots, and everybody fucking loves them, and they went super viral, and they're just like hugely successful.
The one with Selena Gomez or something?
No, that's our place. And so it's a whole category. And so that one's our place. But an example of a pan that I know is what's that Gordon Ramsay pan, the hexagon or something?
Yeah, hexclad.
Yeah, so these are all that category, but Caraway was one of the first ones, for context, to even just like come out with something that was non-toxic and all this stuff. So I said, no one's really doing that for water. And so what I saw as an opportunity to say, most people are using Britas or zero water filters. And the reality is that they actually don't remove a lot. They remove some basic chlorine, but they leave in a lot of microplastics and heavy metals and toxic chemicals. And there's filters available now that are, handhelds or over the counter or under the counter filters that take care of all of it. It's just that these companies don't invest in it. So I said, well, someone should build it and they should make it really beautiful and elegant so people want to buy it. So I said, okay, let's try. So what me and Tyler did was we went out, we did a ton of market research. We used ChatGPT like crazy. And then we hired a company, because this was before that ChatGPT released. So this was maybe 4 months ago, and that ChatGPT release happened recently. And we just created renderings. So it cost us about $300 to create renderings for a water filter, and then a bigger water filter, and then an under the sink thing. And they look really sleek. And then I took them into Figma. I asked my designer, I paid him $100. So I'm at 400 right now, all in, total spent. And we're just validating. We haven't done anything, no landing pages, just a phone call with Tyler saying, hey, we should do this. And all of this happened very quickly within 3 days. And so I call my buddy and I said, for $100, can you take these designs, put them on a Figma board, and then just give me access to edit? Because he had a paid Figma account. I didn't want to go buy one. He said, sure. So he did that for me. I went in, I created a bunch of ad sets. I just added a ton of copy. It took me an hour. And how I chose copy was I went to Meta Ad Library, and then I looked up all of the competitors in the water space. I just stole their copy. I was like, oh, that's cool copy. I'll steal it. Oh, that's cool copy. I just stole all their copy.
Yeah.
And so then I sent them to Tyler. He exported the entire list of graphics and statics. There was maybe about 70 or 80. We did a lot. And he just ran tests on them. He spent $500. And so we're $900 all in on this validation test. So sub $1,000. And it turns out that one of the products, the handheld filter, really won. There was a piece of creative that had an 8.5% click-through rate. And we even set up a landing page using AI. It was really quick. We attached a Shopify store to it. All of this was done in less than a week. And I think we sold over 5, but under 10 units of water pitcher. We transacted. We wanted to transact. That was our validation point. Can we take it from a static ad to a transaction, real money? And we instantly the payment bounced each time. So we just refunded the customer's money, and we had an automated email go out to that customer. Say, hey, thanks so much for supporting us. It's a message from the founders, Tyler and Nick. This product is still in R&D. We just wanted to know what prompted you to buy. And so we're collecting data. And so we did that for about 2 weeks. We ran that test for 2 weeks, and we called each other. We said, okay, this test is done. It was validated in our mind. We said, we're validated enough to go to stage 2, which is to maybe actually do some real R&D on a water filter. So we did. And what we learned was that the water filter we want to build would actually require a new mold in China. and that mold will cost us about 20,000. And then in addition, we'd probably need to go out and order a minimum order quantity of at least $20,000 worth of material, house it somewhere in the US for about 5 to 10 a month. So it's about $50,000 in startup costs, which we were willing to do, but we said not right now. There's other ideas we wanted to go test. So we backed out, and we backed out not because we reached all the correct validation points with more in front of us, but we decided to back out because we said, we can come back to this idea, we think, if somebody hasn't executed it well, and we think that there's other ideas that we can execute for much less money, for less of a $50,000 risk, that we want to try before we go and do this. So that was an example of that. I told that story for two reasons. One was to say that was a great lesson for me in learning how to validate something. And then two, that was one of the ideas that I wanted to take to $1 million.